Okay, make sure you're on the page that says 6-2 notes. What we're going to be doing today is looking at what a proportion is and then solving proportions. So a proportion is a statement that two ratios are equal. Remember, a ratio is a comparison of two numbers by division. So if we set two ratios together that are equal, it makes a proportion. It's going to look like equivalent fractions because the ratios are in fraction form. But remember, these are not fractions, these are ratios. It's comparing two different things. But when you see them in a problem like this, it just looks like two equal fractions. And to find them, it's pretty much the same thing. I am going to show you the cross product method though, rather than just going across and seeing if I can multiply the same number to get the bottom number. So proportion, here's two equal ratios, and it says in a proportion, if they're proportional, the cross products are equal. So let's talk about proportional for just a second. If something is proportional, that means it increases and decreases at the same rate. So if you see a proportional model of something, it should look exactly like the real one would, just bigger or smaller. So that it looks exactly the same. Like on a model car, it's proportional because everything is scaled down. Everything right down to the little knob on the radio has to look exactly like it would look if it were real size. Proportional would also be if I'm making a recipe and I want to double the recipe, I want to get twice as much. If I don't double every ingredient, it's not going to taste the same. So that would be proportional. So to see if two ratios are equal, we can use cross products. Cross products mean I'm going to do a diagonal across multiplying, because product means I multiply. So I'm going to do 9 times 8, and I would, if it's in this form, I would put the 72 up here. 12 times 6 is 72. If their cross products are equal, then they are equal. So it's written over here, but you would be able to just do it right here. So we want to know if these ratios form a proportion. You can have calculators out at any time. You can pause and try something on your own and then unpause and see how you do and check it with me if you'd like. Okay? So going this way, 72 times 18 is 1296. 32 times 45 is 1440. These are not equal ratios. That means it does not form a proportion. Let's try the next one. So I'm going to do 8 times 35, which gives me 280. I'm going to do 40 times 7, which also gives me 280. Because the two ratios are equal, that means yes, it forms a proportion. So that's part of just deciding if something makes a proportion or not. You can do cross products. Now, because you know that a proportion has equal cross products, you can use cross products to find a missing side. Now, I know in the past you would have said, oh, this is 2 times 5 to get 10, so this is 9 times 5 to get 45. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to do that because if you look at some of the numbers down here, you're going to get decimal numbers. You're going to get numbers that you can't figure out what it was times by. So we're going to do cross products and form a one-step equation and then solve it. And that way, no matter what the numbers are, we will be able to solve it. So please don't try and just say 2 times 5 is 10, 9 times 5 is 45. Even though we know that's the answer, we're going to solve it a little differently. We're going to do a cross product. So we're going to go across 2 times a. And I always like to multiply the number and the letter first. I find that I like to have the letter on the left side. Because you can't get an answer, so like here, if I was doing my cross products, I would put these two equal to each other. So that's what I'm going to do here, is put the two cross products equal to each other. It says because their cross products are equal. So 2 times a is 2a. When I cross product this way, 9 times 10 is 90. This is a one-step equation. When you solve a one-step equation, you're going to divide both sides by the number in front of the variable to get the variable by itself. So a is equal to 45. We knew it would, but that's how you do it proportionally, algebraically. All right, so I'm going to do it again. Number times the letter. 12 times k is 12k. Cross products the other way. 21 times 4 is 84. I'm going to divide both sides by 12, cancel out the 12s, and k is 7. I'm going to skip that one's kind of easy. I'm going to go down to the bottom before I do the story problem. Let's do a few more of these. We've got 5 times b is 5b. We've got 4 times 40 is 160. We're going to divide both sides by 5 and 5. The 5's cancel out. B is 32. Okay? Some of them are going to have decimals, and that's okay because we have a calculator. 9 times A is 9A. Cross product this way. If you put in 0.99 times 11, you'll get 10.89. Undo this with division so that you get A by itself, and you'll get 1.21. Okay? One more. Let's go, or maybe we can do 2 more. You can try them and then you can check them. So pause this, try these last 2 on your own, and then unpause it and check them. All right, so to check, 15y. Then we're going to do 25 times 7.5 and get 187.5. We will divide both sides by 15. 187.5 divided by 15 is 12.5. We're going to cross product. 12 times z is 12z. My z's have a line through them because my 2's and my z's would look the same otherwise. Let's multiply 54 times 5, which is 270. I'm going to then divide both of those sides by 12 to get z by itself, and z equals 22.5. All right, so that's just basic proportion solving. Now you can set up proportions if you know things are proportional, like the 12 oranges cost $2.99 and it's going to be done at the same rate. You can set up a proportion. So this would be 1 ratio because it's a comparison of 2 things, of 12 oranges to $2.99, and then we want to know what the cost will be, so we're looking for a cost of C for 30 oranges. So when I set up, I'm going to set up a proportion. I'm going to set up the left side however I want. It doesn't matter if I put oranges or money on top, as long as I set up the other side the same way. So if I decide to put the 20 oranges, I don't know why I put ORG, oranges, and then $2.99. If I have 30 oranges, and I'm going to do C for the cost because I don't know that cost. Well, then I can do my cross products. 12C, $2.99 times 30 gives me 89.7. I'm going to divide both sides by 12 and round it to 2 decimal places because it is money, and I get $7.48. Okay? So just remember, when you're setting up a proportion, if it's a story problem, you're going to have 1 ratio on one side, set it up however you want with the ratio. It doesn't matter what goes on top and bottom, just make sure that the right side matches on top with the left side. So oranges with oranges, money with money on the bottom.